In 1666, a demonic curse has rocked a small town. The food spoils and the children meet unfortunate ends. All eyes turn on two women, and the witch hunt begins. The events from 1666, 1978, and 1994 come full circle as the Fear Street Trilogy ends.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Clubhouse Movies Podcast. I'm your host, Mark Rubocaba, and I'm joined once again by Mr. Abel Panetta. Today, we are discussing the final chapter, the movie, the myth, the legend, Fear Street Part 3, 1666.
Thrust back into the beginning of this journey, we are finally seeing the world through the eyes of the Witch of Shadyside, Sarah Fear. What we see is not just a budding township, but a budding darkness being cultivated by ominous foes. The bloodstained history of this town is far more darker than the darkest nights. Join us as we all see light shed on the truth.
Okay, well, I think this was a good conclusion to the trilogy.
I do too, man. It was this whole arc within an arc, within an arc, within an arc. It was good.
I wonder if you can call it a perfect trilogy. I mean, can you say that there were any good third ones?
No. What we usually have here is we usually have a sophomore that fails, and sometimes the ending or the trilogy is good. But if you recall, we were talking about The Hobbit, how that last one just went.
Well, see, I think, they say the greatest trilogies of all time will be The Empire Strikes Back, right?
Yeah.
Star Wars. So The Empire was the high point of.
Yeah.
The other one that I think is also a near perfect trilogy is the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yes.
To which
the
best is the Dark Knight, which is the middle one, and then the Dark Knight Rises kind of fizzles out.
Yep.
This movie, it had a straight up curve.
Yeah,
which we've never seen before. And I know you didn't like the second one as much.
Yeah.
But to me,
I liked the third one the most.
I definitely like the third one the most. And not only was it the best, but it was actually a grindhouse movie.
Yeah, it really was.
It was a double feature.
Yeah.
Nobody knew that.
No.
It was a double feature because
you see the playtime, you're like, oh crap, this movie's gonna be so long. And then you're watching it and you're like, oh, I'm watching two movies.
Yeah. It's like automatic.
Fear Street 1994 Part 2.
That's probably why they called it 1994, so you wouldn't.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be stuck on part 2. Anyway, yeah. So it's a grindhouse movie. But both parts were very good,
and they were so filled with story. I was actually just discussing with my wife today. She was asking which one was my favorite. I said the first one, but now that I'm reading my notes, I'm like, oh right, I liked the third one the best. And you're right. It was because it is a grindhouse movies.
It is an homage to grindhouse movies as a
double feature.
And I did not expect that.
No, that totally took me by surprise. And the only time I checked the time, that whole grindhouse movie double feature happened. I was like, oh crap, we have almost an hour left in this.
Yeah.
And not in a bad way.
It felt like an entire movie. That's the thing.
Yeah. That's gratifying. I was watching it, even though it's on Netflix. I felt like I was in theaters going, I just got the most bang for my buck here.
Yeah, you were right. I actually do think I was so enthralled in this movie that I think it was like I was there, actually watching it.
Yeah, it was a treat, man. This movie was a treat. And another thing, I didn't expect a timepiece movie in the beginning. I didn't expect to.
Well, it was called 1666.
Yeah, but I didn't expect them to respect that period piece thing, especially with the accents and the same cast.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So all the main characters came back as other people, which is awesome.
Yeah. Essentially past versions of themselves.
Well, I don't know if they were necessarily past versions of themselves.
I will tell you why. So the cheerleader in 1994 is a low-key drug dealer. In 1666, she brings out these berries, and they are at a little party, a.k.a. they're at a rave, and she just gave them E.
Oh, it's
boom.
It's like poetry.
There we go.
It rhymes. You know who that is?
No.
George Lucas. It's like poetry. It rhymes. You got to kill the Death Star.
Of course.
It's like poetry.
Speak so softly.
But we're going back to those accents. That was the biggest gripe that I had with this entire trilogy.
You know what I'll say is I was pleasantly surprised that their accents weren't worse.
There was a scene, because they were bad, like when you first met them, and it's like, okay, whatever. But there was a scene where like the main character, I forget her name, was like in the past in 1666, and she was upset, and she's like, and then this town, like she flat out like,
well, she's Sarah Fear in this movie.
She's actually Sarah Fear in this, but like the way she talks, I guess she can be like herself, like So we'll waive that suspension of disbelief here just for that minute, but it took me out of it for a minute. Because
because you see the characters that played other characters, and you're like, huh?
Yeah, you can definitely hear her voice like saying all the round R's. Yeah, and like such an American, like modern American tone.
And they, I don't know what it was, but I'm pretty sure everyone there had a Scottish like accent.
Yeah, I wrote Irish.
Oh,
it looked like an Irish accent.
Sorry, just kidding.
Yeah, and you know what? I totally forgot about from the first one.
Yeah,
fake Gyllenhaal. He was super fake Gyllenhaal in this one, and he looked like Prince of Persia.
I was like, "Sir, where's your dagger?"
He gave her a dagger,
dude. Yes, especially because Jake Gyllenhaal, his accent was just terrible. I was gonna combine 3 different words there.
Like
it was so bad.
Yeah, the accents were terrible.
Oh, sending me us.
I don't know what the hell he said. His name's Ashley Zuckerman, the actor.
God, dude. That's the dude's name?
Yeah, look.
Ashley Zuckerman. Yeah, I see it right here.
Yeah.
Zuck.
Well, you know what's funny, though? Army Darkness guy, Ash. His name was Ashley, the character.
Oh,
That's why they called him Ash. So, yeah, he was super fake Gyllenhaal in this one. But I like the dead character actors coming back. But also, new Tommy sucked. Like, I liked old Tommy, but like the new Tommy,
Tommy was a
dick.
Man.
Actually, like this whole
he was a drunk.
This whole town, everyone was super douchey.
Yeah, they were.
But they were proper old timey douchey.
Yeah, like they were like settling the land and everything, settling the town of Shady Side.
Like you know the story of the Crucible where they blamed all the women for being witches, right?
Yeah,
yeah. That essentially happened here.
Yeah, it was very very Crucible-esque.
So they were experiencing some demonic plagues.
Yeah.
So the first plague that happened was all the food immediately rotted.
Yeah, like Sarah Fear pours out this bag of flour, and there's just
mealy bugs everywhere.
Mealworms all up in that biatch.
They got I think fake Tommy. I think he was the one eating the apple that's spoiled in his mouth.
Oh yeah, that was gross, dude. And then when her brother, who plays her brother in like
modern time or 94.
They go to the piglets, and the mom is eating the piglets, like the mama pig.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, why the bone crunching sound? I was like, oh.
That made me sad because they also killed the dog, Mary Boy, the dog.
Yeah.
That was sad. So the animals...
The dog got drowned in the well. They've poisoned the well. This town has a curse upon it.
But the most insane curse was the priest.
Dude, I was going to say that. I was like, man, so across the entirety of this arc of movies, they only pick and choose a few of the boogeymen to tell you the story of. Other ones they kind of just peppered in like, oh yeah, they did this and that.
Yeah, the Milkman.
He was like a stabby kind of guy.
He was a douchey milkman.
Yeah, he was a creep. And this guy, I feel like they fleshed out his story the most. Even though you, as like a non-boogeyman, you get to meet him for like a split second. But he has like a hook in his hand when he's cleaning the horse hooves. And the children are like, I'll like take your eyes out or something. I'm like, ooh, that was terrible.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah. Guess what he does? I can't see.
Fatality.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
much.
So that was some carnage. And that was actually a very
it was scripted well.
Well executed scene. Now, was it fake Gyllenhaal who found them?
It was fake Gyllenhaal.
Okay.
Actually, it wasn't him that found them. It was...
he was the one who went in and...
burst in first.
Yeah, he was the discovery guy.
Yeah.
He was... We saw it from his point of view.
Yeah, we saw him enter the room and then go see the children as he hears the priest muttering words with his back to him as he enters the pews.
Okay, I got to get on a tangent here. So... M. Night Shyamalan. You go back and you watch The Sixth Sense, and you're like, oh, okay, so he was dead the whole movie. Now, what if we went back and watched this trilogy again, knowing what we know now?
That's a good question.
Okay. Just because, like, I think I didn't write this down, but I think when I was watching this, I was thinking, like, M. Night Shyamalan can't write a movie.
No, he can't. He can't. This is made for Netflix, dude.
I think it was supposed to go in theaters, but it is on Netflix. It's here.
It's really good. Like, this whole trilogy was good. They could have released these movies every year, like for Halloween, and they would have done super good.
Yeah, it just kind of pisses me off how, like,
M. Night Shyamalan gets to freaking
thinking about it, because we're going to get to the twist here.
Thinking about old pisses me off.
So, yeah. old, alive, old, young, cheeseburgers.
Middle-aged.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Yeah.
So, the thing about it was, throughout the entire first two movies,
yes,
everyone talks about Sarah Fear the witch, Sarah the Fear the cursed hand, Sarah feared this, Sarah feared that. But they always talk about the devils.
They do talk about the devils.
They talk about the witches.
Those are the prospective teams of, I think, Sunnyvale and Shadyside.
Yeah, but now we meet the devil part of the story.
We do.
And we understand who the real villain is. And
not all who are good are.
Yeah. Sarah Fear, she is a gay pilgrim.
Yeah.
Is there a better way to say that?
No, I mean that is as literal as you could get.
She's a lesbian in, let's say, a more less progressive times.
Yeah.
And
everyone is wearing beige, darling.
She has a romantic moment with another female.
Yeah. Which is her love interest
in
the first movie.
Yeah, in modern times. But I guess there was like a bonfire or something, and then one dude...
A rave.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
A pilgrim rave.
Yeah.
And one dude tries to hit on one of the girls, and, like, he gets rejected.
Yeah.
Like, straight up, but he lies about it.
Yeah.
So when everything starts going bad...
dirty, dude.
And he's like, she was dancing naked, and she seduced me, and you just see him, like, hand with a boner.
Yeah. And the thing is, they're fully clothed in the wood.
They're fully clothed like pilgrims.
They're drinking applejack, as they say.
Applejackers in the bonfire.
Don't even know what that is.
Trolley la la la.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Berry drugs.
Well, anyway, yeah. So they see that, and also so does fake Gyllenhaal, but we don't know it's him yet.
Yeah.
But
he sees them. So, like, after the party and after all that stuff, I guess Sarah Fear and her love interest, her girlfriend, are just kissing each other, and they see a shadow move in the dark, and we don't know that is Good.
Mr. Good. So fake Gyllenhaal, we keep calling him that.
Yeah, Nick Good.
Nick Good. It's actually Nick Good's ancestor.
Yeah, his great-great-great-great-great-grandfather.
Great-great-grandfather. We learn that he is actually the villain of the trilogy. The entire family. And not only that, the entire family has been behind it the entire time.
They've been keeping it going.
Yeah, they've been keeping it going. And he tried to have Sarah Fear in on it.
Yes.
But she wouldn't. And then
because she was good.
Yeah, because she's the real good guy of the story. And as she was... somehow she got him into her...
Yeah, so what happens is...
Oh, yeah.
Is during this whole thing when, we find out that he's the bad guy, the rest of the town goes on this crazy, like, let's kill Frankenstein rampage.
Yeah.
Vigilante mob. Yeah. Yeah, so they're trying to kill the witch, and they're trying to find Sarah, because obviously everyone has talked smack and said, oh, she's a witch, her and or whatever. They've been casting spells and all this stuff. And she goes to Nick Good's home, banging on his door. He lets her in, and she is trying to hide in his house while the mob is outside, and he's like trying to get the mob away. Succeeds, but she goes under his home.
Yeah, that was the thing that I liked about this movie was you can see I started understanding the layout of the city.
Yes,
where there's the tree, then there's the tunnel, and then
you like subconsciously you're making this.
It was actually really cool, but they go in the tunnel.
Yeah.
And then they find she finds the Necronomicon in there.
Yeah, right on a freaking table on the floor. It's on the floor.
Because there was a witch in town, the one who was going to give them the berries, but that's when she discovered the Necronomicon.
Yeah.
But then it was missing when she went back for it, and the witch was missing too.
Yep.
So when she went under the Goods house, when they found the what do we call it, cave system?
Yeah, her cave system.
Her cave system. He found the Necronomicon, found the dead witch.
Yep.
And Good was evil.
And Good actually is the one who killed the witch.
He killed the witch
because he, to quote him loosely, is he kept getting bad luck. And he wanted to change his luck.
You know, that was actually probably the weirdest thing. It reminded
that is the weirdest way to approach bad luck, dude.
Yeah, he's like, well, why are you doing all this? I want more stuff.
Yeah. He's like, I need more goods for my land. It's like, dude, you live in the boonies.
He was just seriously like...
Yeah, he lived on the perimeter of town.
Fake Gyllenhaal was the real villain. What did he want? More stuff?
He just wanted stuff.
Stuff?
What a freaking narcissist,
He
bro.
made a deal with the devil for more stuff. Why didn't he just like start a business or something?
Why don't you just go gather twigs?
Yeah, gather some twigs. Move to a different town
Yeah.
or something where you're not as weird.
Yeah.
You know?
Good. Ooh. But yeah, so after all that, we find out that good is evil. And I gotta say, that was a way better twist than any M. Night movie I've seen.
Yeah, so good was evil, just as the spray paint guy said in the prior movie.
Yeah.
Evil is good, more than fucking evil.
Yeah. Yeah, because I guess it was God, I forget the guy's name. It's the black dude, the janitor.
Spray paint guy.
Yeah, so the janitor in the first movie gets done dirty by... It's the first movie, right?
Yeah, in the first one.
Gets done dirty by good with the spray can.
He even said, it was a weird line then.
Yeah.
Where he goes, these are my spray paint cans.
Yeah.
But he said it like he confiscated them, but they
Yeah.
always were just his.
Yeah, he wasn't lying.
So he was just
like
flat out
weird.
framing the poor guy for like no reason.
Yeah, I was like, damn. Damn.
Yeah, that was pretty good. The only thing that I saw as a bit of a plot hole there
Yeah.
was why did Good warn what's her name?
Oh
Ziggy?
yeah. So Good, who in 1994 is current Sheriff Good, in 1978, he's a kid at camp and he warns Ziggy, the girl that survived, in the second one. So yeah, it's a weird plot hole, man.
Too many butts.
Yeah.
Okay.
No buts about it.
Yeah. But anyway, I can't draw today. I think the thing was he liked Ziggy.
Yeah, I think
he
so
didn't
too.
want
but
her.
they didn't explain beyond that.
Well, he did get Ziggy in front of her when we went to the second part of the grindhouse.
Yeah.
And he stopped. He's like, "Oh, I don't want to kill." Like he seemed like he didn't want to kill her.
Yeah, he did.
But it wasn't that outline that maybe Ziggy was the lost love of his life.
Yeah, they didn't really. I guess they didn't really build on it. It was kind of like, even when they were kids, they were kind of just playing with each other and stuff. Not really anything. It didn't seem like they were really into each other. You know, it seemed like a little fling kind of thing.
Yeah, but Good, he kind of seems like the kind of dude who just
Well, you know what I think? I think this was their attempt to humanize him.
Yeah, maybe
to give him a weakness.
But so now we go. Let's go back to plot wise here.
Yeah.
So Ziggy, not Ziggy. So Sarah Fear is in the cave system with Good.
Yep.
She does not want to make a deal with the devil.
Yeah.
So she tries to escape, and then there's like a pretty intense fight scene between Good and Sarah Fear.
Yeah.
And I don't think he did it on purpose, but he cut off her hand. Like the way it happened was so
she stabbed him first.
Yeah.
And then he was fighting the blade away from her, and
like she fell or something.
And she went to block, I guess, a strike or something.
Yeah.
And I think he must have tripped and actually sliced her freaking hand off.
And that's the legendary hand that was placed upon the city.
The idle hand.
For 300 years or so.
Yeah.
So that happened. And then also her girlfriend was already detained as a witch to be executed.
To be hung. Or hanged.
Hanged. The next day. So she managed to get, back up from the cave system.
Yep.
And as that happened, she just like stumbles in with the lynch mob.
Yeah, right into, like literally into.
With a missing hand and all bloody from like the fight.
And she's about to tell them and all this stuff. And guess who walks out?
Yeah, Good just comes out of nowhere and is like, I found her. I found the witch.
Yeah, with the shank hole in his body.
Yeah, right. She stabbed me and she's missing a hand now.
Yeah.
And they were both to be hung, but then Sarah Fear like fell on her literally sword. Yeah. And said that she bewitched the other girl.
Yep.
And
took fault for everything.
But then she cursed Good's family.
Yes.
So
specifically,
she said,
not the town, as everybody assumes.
Yeah. Just the Good family.
Yeah.
And she said that if anyone dropped blood on her bones or somehow connected them, they would see the truth.
Yeah.
And that is what all of the main characters in this show have been seeing throughout the show.
All these flashes, all these flashbacks weren't to haunt them. It was to show them the truth. And the one person that needed to see that
was good.
Finally did get to see it.
Yeah, that's the very, very, very end. But anyway, so after all this happens, then we jump cut to a different movie.
What?
It turns into Fear Street 1994.
There you go.
Part 2. And this is the final showdown at the mall. I was wondering, do they put malls over campgrounds? Is that where they...
I don't know, man.
Because they did the same thing in like...
Apparently you can go back in time at malls. There's a lot of pines at malls.
Yeah, pine trees. And
there's trees in malls.
So they had the final showdown. They had the blood and they did everything and they had to fight. They had to fight good. And then they got Spray Paint Guy. And Spray Paint Guy was there, and so was Ziggy, adult Ziggy.
Yep.
And the final the final 3 survivors?
Boogeyman? Yeah, final 3 survivors.
From
the first part of 1994.
From the first part of 1994.
The people who didn't die. So essentially, the main character, I forget her name.
And I think I forgot everyone's name.
God. So the main character's name, her girlfriend is technically still alive because she's tied up, hog-tied style. Nick Good.
Yeah, Nick Good.
Of course.
So there were a lot of illusions here also. Did you ever watch Are You Afraid of the Dark? Remember we talked about that when we first started?
I don't recall a lot of the episodes.
There was one episode called Tale of the Pinball Wizard in which
I do not recall that one.
A guy was stuck in the mall and he had to fight like digital bad guys with a super soaker.
What?
Yeah.
This sounds intriguing.
Yeah, it was actually a good episode, but like to me, their primary weapon here to lure the bad guys back and forth
were super soakers.
In a mall,
and they had Sarah
in the 90s.
They had what's her face's blood in it.
Yeah, they had the girl's blood who the zombie the boogeymen were attracted to. But hey, man, the boogeymen more carnage. They killed some cops.
Oh my God, they went ham on those cops. Dude.
Can't have a slasher movie without some cop carnage.
Yeah, a lot of that with an axe.
Yeah, hang on.
There you go.
I don't know.
Yeah. it was bad.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, so all that stuff happened.
Yeah, and then now we're going to have like the crazy scene where they draw out Nick Good because Ziggy is right there calling him, right? And then she pulls like a little stringy poo. And then
there were some Home Alone traps.
There were.
You know what's weird? I actually think that there was so much stuff to this movie that I'm having trouble quantifying it for the first time ever.
Well, yeah, because we don't really get to talk about these movies until we watch them or until we sit down and start discussing them. There was a lot to unpack, and not like unpack while you're watching it. There's a lot to remember because now you're describing 2 movies.
Yeah, right.
They're 2 wholly separate movies.
Yeah,
it's you could probably watch part 1 of 1994, and when that ends, just jump straight into part 2.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think, why do I have so much more notes for this episode? It's because
there's 2 movies.
There's 2 movies. Spray Paint Guy, Super Soaker, Hanging Tree was in the mall.
Yeah,
the Konami code. What?
Yeah, so there was a Konami code in there. Just remember, you have to do the Konami code. It's infinite lives.
Yeah, well, it's the Konami code because it's for all the
video games. Yeah,
yeah. So they all had like different
of that time period
traps to get in.
Super Street Fighter.
And you know what else? The other trope in movies, hand slices, like when you make a pact.
Yeah, there's a lot of hand slicing in these movies.
Have you ever like cut yourself really bad and like you just move your?
I have a freaking scar right here and right here. You guys can't see it, but those did not feel good.
And then once like the worst feeling is like it's healed for like a few days, but then you like
and it reopens.
Like you feel it.
Yeah, the one I have right here in the middle of my hand.
Yeah,
that sucked.
Hey Hollywood, take it easy on the hand slices, guys. Yeah, like it's bad.
It hurts.
It
takes forever to heal,
and you can't fight people like after that.
Yeah,
but anyway, so Nick goes the bad guy. There's a boogeyman waltz. They play kiki.
Yeah, so
a bunch of times. So that was pretty cool.
So all that happens. We're seeing all the boogeymen get trapped into the mall and everything. Like he said, there's a bunch of Home Alone style traps with ripcords and buckets and liquids and
I called it
stuff.
The boogeyman waltz.
The boogeyman waltz.
Yeah,
it was, man. It really was.
And there was a brief T1000 nod. They keep coming back together where they had the mannequins.
Yes. I saw that and I yelled T1000.
Did you see the mannequins too?
No. Oh, yeah, I did.
They were the T1000 mannequins. Yeah, they were. He looked at. He's like. Like in the Terminator 2, he was like,
want to do that face again for our YouTube people? Meme City right there.
Yeah, that's the
Boom.
Robert Patrick, man.
There we go.
T1000. But yeah, definitely a lot of nods here.
What I do like is how they tied it all up. It was very neat. So in the first part of this movie, when we see Sarah Fear running away from Nick Good, she's doing all that stuff. That happens again under the mall.
Yes, it does. And throughout the trilogy, did they ever go underground in the first movie? I don't think so.
No, they didn't go underground.
But here's the thing, though. This is still technically part of the first movie.
Yes, it is.
So they did.
So so there we go. Technicalities.
Yeah, right. Wow. It blows your mind. It blows your mind how intricate this was, but like...
Yeah. They wrote this very well. Very few plot holes, man.
But it's probably R.L. Stein, man. Maybe he came back and like did some script punch-ups or
Probably
something.
did, man. Probably edited this thing.
But anyway, so it ends with Nick Good back in the cave system with Jason,
at his little altar there,
with Jason's giant heart and the thing and the altar.
Yeah,
and he cuts himself somehow, or somehow he gets stabbed by the main character, and he gets the curse.
Yeah,
he gets the actual witch's curse.
And the way, I don't know if you want to start alluding toward the end of this thing.
Yeah.
So what happens is Sarah Fear, a.k.a. whatever her main character name is, she grabs his hand and puts it into that beating heart on the ground that brings all these bad guys to life.
Mm-hmm. I call it Jason's heart.
Jason's heart is the boogeyman creator, we'll say.
Yeah, it just farts out boogeymen.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it does. Just osmosis boogeyman. There we go. That's the sound. And then that every fart is a boogeyman. And then
and then he sees the whole
story. The whole story
unfold.
Sarah Fear's whole thing.
And then all the victims of the boogeyman come to
chase him
and kill him pretty much. And when they kill him, like the kids with no eyes and all the campers who died, you see the
Thanos snap away.
Yeah, the the boogeymen that we've come to know
throughout this
as boogeymen,
trilogy,
as opposed to the victims, get dusted.
Yep, they get dusted, and then nobody is dying, and I guess the whole good family gets done, like gets bad. Which now that I think about it, that was kind of a plot hole, because now all the good family is assuming that they were into this
the Satan cult.
Yeah, Satan cult and all this crazy stuff, and they're saying, "Oh, we didn't know anything about it," you know.
Well, who was hit by the car? Was that the mayor? So he survived?
Oh, right.
So at the very end...
That was the mayor, his brother.
They come out of the tunnel system because they just defeated Nick Good. And
the tunnel system
and the Jason Hart...
right into their house.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, the tunnel system ended up finally going to the house. So that was the camp, or that was the house from 1666.
Oh, the original settlement. Holy crap, weird. Our minds are being blown with you. That was... Whoa, man. Yeah, rim shot. That was ironic. There we go.
Wow, all of them.
Wow, man. Wow, that was the house. Because in the first part of this movie, when they go down, it's from within the house. When they come out, it's in the house.
Okay. Wait, that happened.
Damn.
That's hot. Hot take. When the minute they come out of the house that was connected to the cave system for the past 200-300 years, some other family is across the street, pulls out of their car.
Because nothing bad ever happens in Sunnyvale.
Nothing bad ever happens in Sunnyvale. Oh, so they could have just been some random person.
No. Well, you know what? It was. Yeah, it was a random person. I think it was to show that bad things are now happening because the curse has been lifted.
And maybe flipped.
So Shady Side is no longer shady.
It's sad to see random people die, though.
That guy got obliterated.
Yeah, because they did show a newsreel of the... They did show a newsreel of the
disgraced family.
Disgraced mayor.
They're like, oh,
Mayor
God.
Good. Like, I don't know. I didn't realize like the sheriff was a Satanist killer.
Yeah.
But all the stuff that was in the tunnel disappeared. Jason's heart got dusted. The icon
thing on the ground.
The iconography came back up.
Yeah, the blood was gone. There's no more Satine in there.
Yeah. So everything, I guess, kind of wrapped in a bow for like the main characters.
Yeah.
But it was kind of going back to the 1666 part. Like I was just sort of thinking, like when Sarah Fear lost her hand,
Yeah.
you knew at that moment that she was fucked.
Oh yeah, dude.
And just to kind of like
not even cursed. Fucked. She was just
like, yeah, she was like,
you get any kind of stab wound in that time, you're donezo, man.
well, that and where's she gonna go in the helping hands of the Crucible witch hunt,
Yeah.
like literal witch hunters.
Yeah,
like
that was a job title.
like she's missing her hand, and like obviously like Good, like her only friend Good was not gonna help her out.
Yeah, because he wasn't good.
Yeah, and the I was just sort of thinking back, like when that happened, she died. She lost her hand. She was,
Yeah.
and her friends, who were always her friends, like when they were reincarnated or whatever, they took her body out and moved it, and that's why her body was in a different spot. So it was almost like a biblical metaphor at this point, because they knew she would be resurrected, so they moved the body. Right, they left the boulder in the place this time.
Yeah.
So it was that kind of thing. Now that I kind of think about it, so it does
think about that. That's crazy.
It does get pretty deep.
Yeah. Man.
Because they knew that she was good, the real good.
Yeah.
Not the bad good.
What a twist.
I know. Mind blown, dude.
Yeah, man.
And then and then going back to the biblical references, I don't know. I missed this whole like pot here.
I have no idea.
She had a crown. And the crown was the moss.
Oh, she did.
Yeah.
Her crown of red moss.
Yeah.
That laid upon that rock.
That's how you knew she was there.
And and the urinal, in 1978 at the urinal, the outhouse had the red moss all over it.
Yeah, that was from her crown of from her execution.
Whoa, man. Whoa. So many woes here. Yeah.
It's money, man.
This was good.
So M. Night Shyamalan, take some notes, dude.
Yeah. Watch this trilogy.
I remember watching in that, like the Sixth Sense DVD.
Yeah.
And he's like, in film school, they always teach you that you're gonna have to cut your favorite scene, and I had to cut my favorite scene in this movie. I'm like,
what was your favorite scene, dude?
It was a scene where like he's watching like a DVD or something from his wedding, and like I don't know who was watching it, since he was a ghost, by the way. I forget it. Like
M. Night, shut up.
M. Night, shut up. I like it. M. Night, shut up. Oh boy, we hate that guy.
I know.
What if he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna listen to this podcast
and then
they're talking about Fear Street." Oh my god, they hate me
all the time. What a twist!
Oh my god, that hits me so much.
I wonder if they want me to stand in and act like I'm part of the show.
No, I don't know,
man.
Stand
in front of the green screen so we can take you out. Wear one solid color, please.
If we had his whole body in a green screen, you have him falling down out of an airplane. But it's like him in the Gumby pose, like waving, spinning,
just tumbling.
The limitations of green screen. Okay, so let's zoom back towards the end of 1994 here.
Yeah.
Okay, one thing that I did not like. Okay, so they the pepper spray paint guy, the janitor.
Yeah.
For some reason, he was always like tinkering with things, and he's like, "I'm gonna invent like the new Walkman." So he invents like a stupid like lunchbox like Walkman.
It wasn't even a Walkman. It was like a straight up. He grabbed car radios and shoved them into an aluminum casing.
Yeah, I don't know what was up with that, but then like that's not the part I'm like. This chick's like, "What you got to do is invent an SSD system, and once you do that, like nothing will move."
And the nerd in me was like, let me research and see when the SSD was first talked about.
Okay, back then there were floppy drives. The floppy drives at most had 4 megabytes.
Yeah, I remember installing video games.
4 megabytes. You know what 4 megabytes is? 4 megabytes is like this minus like 2 minutes ago.
It's like this sheet, these few sheets of paper.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
A CD 700 megabytes.
Yeah.
It blows my mind.
It blew my mind when we got to see the MP3 rewritable CDs.
So in my in my notes, I wrote "chick from the future." Like, was she supposed to be from the future?
Yeah, and get this. So now my mind is just opening up like a freaking. We're peeling back the layers of the onion here. So at the end credits, we're seeing all this stuff happen. Someone takes the Necronomicon, whatever.
Yeah. So. Someone takes the Necronomicon. You know what's funny though?
Was it the future chick? Come on.
I think
because she's the chick that was chatting with our boy.
I have a theory who it is, but I remember I mentioned like there was going to be a Necronomicon when we reviewed part 2.
Yes,
I didn't see part 3 yet. I was already talking about the.
Yeah, I know. I remember.
I remember watching the thing, and your face is like, Necronomicon. What
I was
Necronomicon?
like, what the hell's this?
Yeah, but anyway,
Gadzooks.
I think I know who it was. So in
Tell
part,
me more.
another thing that happened in part 2 on the 1978 version. Remember, Ziggy had like an arch nemesis who she fought, and then she dropped the worms on and all that.
Yeah, she got her face slashed.
No, she did not.
What?
As far as I can tell, she's still alive somewhere.
Really?
Yeah.
You think so? Because it looked like she got hit in that face with an axe.
No, you know what happened?
You
was
didn't see it, actually.
She. What happened was Ziggy knocked her out. She fell in the stall. Bam! End of her story. We never see her again. And then the nerdy guy got his head cut off and then thrown in the toilet. And then Ziggy got away and he chased Ziggy.
Gonna have to rewatch this.
Never killed that preppy girl who was never part of this, but somehow probably had her life ruined by it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's my theory because that's the only hanging Chad from this story that I can think of. And, it ends with Samantha and Dina living apparently happily ever after.
Yeah.
I think Dina's brother's alive and well, not eating her pancakes.
Yeah. Her pancakes.
She made them with ingredients and shit.
I know.
That was like my favorite line at the end. I made it with ingredients and shit.
Yeah. I'm like, well, isn't that how everything's made?
But yeah, so the Necronomicon was stolen. I think it was the toilet fight girl.
Yeah.
And I wrote Queen of Darkness girl. Yeah, I think I did write it might have been the SSD girl because she was into all this stuff, but we never heard from her again.
Yeah. She was just a queen of... No, she was a queen of whatever because she wrote it down on the dude's cast.
AIM thing. Yeah. And that was her AIM the whole time.
Yeah.
So maybe it was her. That whole subplot with the Queen of Darkness didn't really fit. And
it didn't pan out as much as I had hoped.
She has to be from the future or something in order for this to work. And then if they are going Army of Darkness route, he kept going... The Necronomicon kept on allowing him to go back and forth through time.
Yeah.
That's why we went to the medieval times. And where Ash is right now, if you watch the TV show on Netflix, he's in the future. He was always supposed to go to the future.
Oh.
Yeah, and fight the Army of Darkness there. But anyway, I think we can stick a fork in this one unless you got something.
No, man, that was it for me.
All right, you
can kick it off.
I'm going to give this one an A. This was a near perfect ending to a near perfect horror trilogy. Fear Street goes down as one of the great horror franchises. Although I like the horror tease of a sequel, especially since it's customary.
Yeah.
I hope this is the end of the road for Fear Street.
I'm going to have to agree. I was actually going to give this movie a B+, but upon talking about it, I'm going to upgrade this one to an A, which is going to match what I rated the first one. And the reason I'm giving it an A is it was a solid way to end a trilogy. It culminated perfectly, I think. I want it to end. I was like, nothing felt too drawn out or unnecessary, even the double feature that we got. And I just said, it's all meat and potatoes. It's a must-watch Halloween time movie. The whole thing.
And
just enjoy it.
I guess it is kind of gory and pretty flashy. I'm trying to think. It's not safe for all the kids. Then
no,
definitely,
not for all the kids.
Definitely a PG slash. It's rated R, but definitely a teenage slasher.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But it takes the best. If you've ever wanted to be introduced to slashers, this does it, and it does it perfectly.
Yeah, does it well.
I think we're gonna see Fear Street 2025 before you know it.
Oh yeah.
But I think I have high hopes.
I do too, man.
But we don't need it.
This came out of nowhere for me, and I approve all of it.
Okay, well, anyway. Yeah, I think we're done here. What do you think?
I think so too, but remember, you can always like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We are on YouTube. We are everywhere you can listen to us.
Everywhere you get your podcast.
Everywhere.
Yeah, so just check us out. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I want to read those comments. We will catch you next time. I'm your host, Mark Rubalcaba. For Mr. Evo Pineda, this is Clubhouse Movies Podcast. Over and out.
Klaatu, Verada, Okay then.